Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Dr. Linda. Thank you for joining me today. Um, it's a fabulous day. Hopefully, everyone is having a fantastic day and ready for the holidays. So, just to give you a little bit about what's going on before I introduce my guest for today, I'm having a summit coming up August the 24th through the 26th. So, more details on that, but I will post that so that if you're interested, please join me. As you will hear lots of great coaches, speakers, trainers, and experts sharing their information with the world. So today I have a special guest. She is a multi talented artist of different facets, but most importantly, she is my niece. And so her name is Tanya Jones. So, Tanya, welcome to the stage. How are you today?
Hi there, how are you?
I am fabulous. Hope you are.
I'm very good.
Awesome. So, the way we get started is I always ask you to introduce yourself, tell the audience a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, so hello. My name is Tanya Jones. I am an artist. And when I say artist, that means that I love all things creative. Primarily, most people know me as a musician, but what some people also don't know is that I'm also a graphic designer. I do graphic design, I do web design, I do video editing. Pretty much, if I can make something beautiful, I'm going to do it. So that is my claim to fame. I am a visual and I'm a visual artist and a musician. I Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I was gonna say I got my start as far as graphic design. It's something that I've been doing pretty much most of my life without even realizing it. Before I was even into Photoshop, I was going through like your old yearbooks and things like that and keepsakes from your childhood, and I realized that I was making bookmarks for parties and name tags when I was in the 6th grade. I didn't even remember doing it. But I got into it professionally about 8 or 9 years ago. I used to work for a tax firm, and it was the
Mhm.
headquarters of a franchise. And I was the office manager for the headquarters locations. And somehow I kind of fell into doing their brand marketing for them and creating all of their marketing materials. And for me, that just kind of like made my day because any job that I do, I try to find like the creative aspect in it. So I got into marketing design that way, found out that I really loved it. And from there, I started branching out and doing more like logo designs, web editing, video editing, etc. So I've been in it for about 8 or 9 years.
Yes. Oh, good, good. So, sounds like it was a natural talent, natural skill set that you had, and you kind of ignored it for the longest. And then you finally decided, I'm going to tap into my natural gifts and make something happen. And we all
Yes.
find ourselves doing that.
Yes.
So, what do you love most about it?
What I love most about it is that even in sad times, you can find beauty in the moment. And
Mm,
one of the things that actually inspired me to create my own business in doing graphic design for people was about 5 years ago, which you remember. Actually, it was more than 5 years ago. It was 7 years ago where I experienced a lot of loss in my family in a short amount of time. I lost
mhm.
both my grandmothers, I lost my godmother and my aunt, I lost some cousins. It was very, very rough, but um during that time I made a few funeral programs for some of my family members, and
Yeah.
it was a little weird, but to pass the time at work, I started designing just themed funeral programs, just generic templates for other
Mhm.
people. And I thought, man, I should make a store out of this. But the reason that I found beauty in it was because even though it was a very, very sad occasion, it was an opportunity to make something that was very heartfelt and genuine and beautiful that
Right.
people could keep for years to come. So you can take even like your saddest moments and find ways to make them beautiful. And that just brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah, that's yeah, that is, you do fabulous work, and I'm not just saying that because you are my niece, but you do great work, and so, I want the world to know the gifts and talents that you have and share them with the rest of the world. So tell us, how can you help people? And well, first of all, why is marketing important? Because sometimes people starting a business, they forget about that part. If you build it, will they come? Probably not. So why is it important to have a really good website or have that, the marketing strategy in place before you or as you start your business?
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research to get some statistics before we did this show today. So what I wanted to start out by saying was roughly 30% increase in revenue. That is what studies have shown is the difference that it makes when your business has a consistent brand, like all the way
Mm,
down from product packaging, like what you're sending products, like the packaging and the materials inside of it, to your social media presence, to
right.
the layouts of your stories, to the templates of your PowerPoint presentations. Those types of things across the board kind of define your business and your identity, especially
Mhm.
like in today's society where having an online presence is so very important. Having a consistent brand across the board is really important to establishing like consistency and relationships with your customers and your potential customers, because when you have a business and you're trying to sell a product or a service, what you're really trying to do is establish a relationship with that customer. You
Mhm.
want that customer or that client to say, hey, I trust this person to give me a great product. I trust that person to give me a great service. And any type of relationship, even if it's a business relationship, personal relationship, like worker, like employee boss relationship, what you want to see there is consistency. You want to see that when you have an experience with this person or this organization, it's going to be the same experience that's largely positive no matter where you are. And so, having a consistent brand is super important, especially in the internet, because there's so many different platforms across which you can generate your online presence.
Mhm.
And if you have a consistent brand, that means that someone who sees you on Facebook in a Facebook post will recognize you in an Instagram post. Someone who may not have known about you before, that gets handed down a link like, check this person out. I think they have something that you really like could listen to, or I think this applies to you. They may go looking you up, not knowing who you are at all. But having that kind of consistent brand makes you easier to identify.
Mhm.
And that means that, again, people will feel more trusting that you are consistent and not just what you do and what you sell, but who you are. And that leads to customer loyalty.
Hmm. Absolutely. Very well said. I mean, we all buy based upon brands that we see, like Coca-Cola,
Mhm.
Etsy, Walmart. I mean, all the names, because yes, that customer brand is engraved in our mind. So yeah, it's critically important. So knowing that piece of it, and hopefully people that are listening will understand the importance of consistency and branding. So
Mhm.
why is it so important to have a website or some type of social media presence?
Well, uh, first of all, now that we are in the age of the internet, brick and mortar stores, they're still great. They're still great. But a lot of people do their shopping online. A lot of people get connected to each other online. Just think
Yeah.
about, 15, 20 years ago before Facebook was really huge.
Yeah.
You may not have known where any of your classmates are. Now
No.
you know what your classmate had for dinner, like last Tuesday night. And if you can have that kind of connectivity with people that you haven't really, that you would otherwise not really have any communications with, think about the kind of reach that you can have for potential clients for your business. There are people out there, if you have an online presence that you don't even know about and you don't know how they heard about you, but they're looking you up right now, trying to figure out what you're all about and decide whether or not they're going to be interested in pursuing like a relationship with you as a client or as a customer. It only takes a split second for someone to make a snap decision about your website. Think about the fact that, for example, I know me personally, there's been plenty of times where I will go to a website looking for a service or someone points me in that direction. And if the website is really cumbersome or I can't figure it out, like I can't
Yeah.
find what I need in a quick and easy fashion, I'm out. Like I'm out. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because
It's taking too long.
it's taking too long. Because if there's one thing that we know, people don't really have an interest in working too hard to
Right.
get what they need. So having an online presence is super important because you want to make it extra easy for people to find you, find out about you, and give you money for what it is you're
Right.
trying to sell.
Money is the the end goal.
Yes,
Got to
money
get
is the
paid.
end goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting you say that because I think we all know that as business owners that, we need to have some type of presence, but sometimes fear gets in the way and or they don't have enough time or they don't have enough money to build a
Mhm.
website or to pay someone to do all that for them. So talk a little bit about the services that you provide and um let us know how, just do that. Yeah. I won't go to the next thing yet.
Okay. So, primarily what I'm offering, I mean, I offer a lot of services, but primarily what I'm here to talk about today is the branding experience for small businesses and entrepreneurs who are starting up. Primarily in this case, it would be web design, redesign, and marketing materials.
Okay.
Now, let me preface that by saying that when you are, to your point, that when you are just starting up a business, the hardest part is just getting your foot on the ground and making the decision to do it. So, a lot of times people will turn to platforms like Canva and Moo and Squarespace and Wix and web templates, things like that,
Mhm.
which are all great. They're very cost effective, and it's a good way for you to get yourself up and running if you just need to get started without having to incur like the overhead cost of hiring a professional designer. So let me preface by saying,
Right.
when you're just starting and you don't know where you're headed or how long it's going to last, you might not want to take that leap of spending, hundreds or thousands of dollars on a professional marketing designer. But you can do it yourself. But to that end, as you build your business and as you expand your brand, as you try to expand your reach across the internet, across multiple platforms, that's when it becomes very important for you to have a consistent message, consistent aesthetic, because you can be all over the place and you don't even necessarily know where your business is showing up. If you have a brand here in Facebook and you have a post that looks one way and someone shares it on TikTok and now you've got a new post on TikTok, it can easily get to the point where you're reaching people, but they can't easily identify and recognize you because branding really is about psychology.
Yeah.
The colors that you see, when you think of the color red, you think of passion or you think of
Yeah.
anger. When you think about like juice bars and their logos, there's a reason that almost all of them have green in their logos. It's
Ah,
because green, it naturally signifies like a relationship with nature, and juice bars are supposed to be promoting
healthy.
healthy
Yeah.
eating. So when you're thinking about those kinds of things, it's great to get started on your own, but once you get to a level where you're like, okay, I'm ready to expand, it becomes important to bring someone who does just this for a living, who can help you hone in on your target audience and make sure that everything that you're presenting visually
Mhm.
makes sense to the people whose attention you're trying to capture. You want to
Mhm.
make it easy for them to navigate your site, but you want to be eye catching, and you want to make sense. If you have a scuba diving, like if you have a scuba diving company, you might not want like an all red logo. I mean,
Right.
unless like the scuba diving company is maybe like catered to anger management like clientele or something, then it makes sense, you know? But it becomes important, I think, to make sure that you have someone who is dedicated to shaping like the vision of your business, like to help you bring like what you've imagined your business to be to life in the most effective way so that you
Hmm.
can reach as many people as possible and retain the clients that you've been reaching.
Oh, good. Well, I learned something new. I didn't think about the color aspect, like green in the fruit bars, but yeah, yeah. Just sitting there thinking about it, yeah, because I bought some the other day and it does have green in it.
Yes.
It's supposed to be healthy, and yeah, so it does have green. Great. So thank you for sharing that. So for individuals who are new, because that would be your the ones who are particularly potentially listening and who could utilize your services, a new business owner. So if they're starting out and they're not sure what to do, so walk us through how you guide them through that process. Because those that may be listening, like, I'm new, I need a website, or I don't have any branding. So kind of walk us through what you would tell them or coach them around and how they can work with you.
So someone who is new and just putting together like their business, and they've decided that they want to establish a solid online presence in the way of a website, I would say to them that some of those things that I previously mentioned, like WordPress and Squarespace and Wix, those are all sites where nowadays you don't have to have coding experience in order to
Mhm.
design a really streamlined site. You don't have to have HTML knowledge or CSS knowledge. And that makes it really accessible for lots of people to put together a good website. And I would say that there's nothing wrong with starting out with a website like that. As a matter of fact, a lot of what I do tends to be custom designing those types of template based websites for these clients so that going forward, after I design the website, they can easily maintain it. They don't have to have any coding knowledge. Of course, I also offer like the option for me to maintain your website and keep updating it as you need things updated.
Mhm.
But I would say to start there. Start with something that's simple. Assess what it is that you're looking for your particular business. Do you need an e-commerce store? Are you selling products online, or are you doing a blog? I mean, it depends on what specifically you want for your business. If you already have a logo that you want to use, they would talk to me about that logo and what they want to bring to what aspects of it they want to bring to the site, and
Mhm.
just the kind of vibe and feel that they want for their website. And then from there, we would discuss with each other some potential template ideas for
Okay.
what they want their site to look like. It's a very it's a very back and forth process because, like I said, me as an artist, I want you to love what I make for you.
Yeah.
So we're going to communicate. We're going to communicate to make sure that the finished product is something that you're very, very happy with. And I would say to those people, start small, because if you're just starting out, it's fine to just get your toe in the water and then you can build and expand as you go. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with that.
Okay, great, great, awesome. So hopefully, to those people that are listening, understand that you don't have to start with this big grandiose website with all the bells and whistles. Start small because it just takes time to get that done. So, if someone is interested in working with you, what time frame would they be looking at from start to finish if they wanted to build uh, the branding and the website?
So that depends on how involved they want to get. So if they're starting like just basics, we just need some flyers, we need some business cards, and we need a basic website with 1 or 2 pages. That's something that I can realistically do within a couple of weeks, as in 10 business days. However, that's contingent upon me and you communicating effectively,
Mhm.
because sometimes I need the materials from you before I can proceed. I need to know what you want to say. I need to know if you have existing logos or photos. I need access to those types of files so that I can work with them to create a finished piece for you. But as long as I'm getting like the materials up front that I need, it'll only take like a couple of weeks. Once you get into more involved things where you're talking about e-commerce and you have like inventory that you have to build in an online store, then it will take considerably longer. But it just really depends on how involved and how large the business is. But in
Okay.
general, I would say 1 to 2 weeks is what you could reasonably expect just starting out.
Okay. Great. Awesome. So, for those that are listening, how do they get in contact with you? How do they set up a time to just have a consultation around the services and all that great stuff?
So I have a website. I sent a link to my portfolio. Like, the name of my business is called Joan Ellis Designs dot com. That's the name of my website. And I have, if you go to joanellisdesigns.com, you can see a link to my portfolio, just samples of all the different kinds of work, just to get an
Mhm.
idea of the types of aesthetics that I create. And if you are interested, it's a very bare bones website. So if you're interested, all you have to do is go to that contact page, send me a message, talk to me about what it is that you're looking for, and we can start having a discussion about how to meet your needs, what your budget is, and what your time frame is like.
Okay. So, if you could repeat that website to make sure people are spelling it correctly.
Yes, it is Joan Ellis Designs. It's www.JONELISDESIGNS.com. J
J
O J O N
E.
E L I S
Mhm.
designs.com.
Okay, good. I'll just post that to make sure. So awesome. What questions, not questions, but what would be some final comments that you would like to share with the audience regarding someone who's new, someone who's trying to decide, is this right for me? Should I wait? Should I jump in?
Well, if you're trying to decide if you should start a business, I would say jump in. Don't jump in and blow all your money, but just take a step. It took me a long time to finally, as you know, it took me a
Yes.
long time to finally jump in with my own business and get it started. What I would say, to reiterate what I said earlier, if you're just getting started and you don't have a following and you just need to get something up, um, sometimes it's best, like, use one of those sites, do your own thing just to get yourself going. But as soon as you've got like an established online presence, you really want to start consolidating your brand, making sure that it's consistent, and that at that point consider hiring a professional designer, because even though those sites are very user friendly and you don't have to have like Photoshop knowledge or HTML coding knowledge or anything like that in order to be able to complete them, you still want someone who is going to be able to get you all of the types of materials that you need in the right format, in the
Mhm.
right size, and in the right colors, because those things, while they seem simple enough, they can become super tedious as your business expands. If you have those types of materials in the beginning as a foundation, then when it's time for you to, do speeches or panels somewhere, you already have that material on hand. You don't have to worry about whether or not it's formatted correctly, because someone professional has already figured all of that out for you.
Right.
When you are first thinking about what your brand is, if you haven't talked to a professional designer yet, I would say, go with what works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like,
Right.
if you see like your competitors are consistently using the same type of aesthetic in their websites, if they're using the same type of images, if every if every juice bar has like a bowl of fruit in the window, or it's probably because that type of approach is working.
Right.
So consider going with what works. If you want to venture away from the norm, that's normal, because you want to stand out and you want to be unique, but you also want to do it in a way that makes sense, and again, is not going to confuse your potential clients, because it's all about building a relationship with the people who you want to work with and who you want to come to you. um, yeah, I would say that. And hire a professional. Hire
Yes.
a professional, you will save yourself a lot of time, because can you do it on your own? Yes, you technically can. Should you? It just depends on how much free time you have, how
Right.
much time
Exactly.
you have tinkering with images and making sure that things fit. Because all it really takes is one bad user experience
Yeah.
for a client to be like, I don't know, man, this was too much. It was too much effort for me. And then they
Right.
just move on, because that's the gift and the curse of the internet. There's so many more companies out there that are trying to do the same thing as you. So make it easy for your customers by making sure that your website, that your products are streamlined, they're easily identifiable, and that your clients have a great experience when they're interacting with you.
Awesome. Awesome. And most importantly, contact Tan if that's what you're looking for. You need a website, you need a branding, all that great stuff. She's your gal. Get up with her at Jones Elise Designs.com.
Joan Ellis Design. It's
JoanEllisDesigns.com.
it's a play on my last name and my middle name. I just cut the ends off. You
That's
know.
what I thought. So get in contact with Tanya, and she will make your life very simple. But most importantly, she will help you with your branding, get you where you need to be so you can make more money. So, Tan, thank you so much for joining me today. For the listeners, thank you for joining us and hanging out with us today. I will see you next Thursday, same time, same place. And hope you enjoyed Real Talk with Dr. Linda. So, bye bye, everyone.
Bye.